All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Town of Southbridge Charter Review Committee, Wednesday, March 11, 2026, 4:30 p.m. in the Veterans Room. Agenda item number 1 is called the meeting to order. Maddie Bondias,
Present.
Max Gullickson,
Present.
Patty Dargy,
Present.
John Matthew,
Present.
Michael Montigny, present, and we have a quorum. That was roll call. Agenda item number 3 is chairman's update. Very quick. I have still some fact finding to do on some of the minor things we talked about. Like, this wasn't like to bring up for recommendation yet, but like, why does the liquor board members have to, why do they have to live in town for 2 years first? We're still gonna do some research on those things and come back later. But I have identified the things that we can discuss now. There's 7 of them. And there's just other little things that we mentioned that I just want to make sure I can report back to you in a nice, like, formal way rather than just say, oh, hey. So we'll go right into agenda item number 4 with review, discuss Southbridge Home Rule Charter, section 223, entertain a motion recommending changes to town council for approval. So now I'm looking for a motion. Oh, well, we don't need to make a motion yet because we don't actually have any recommendations to make until we have a recommendation to make. You don't need a motion for discussion. So, this is very simply, terms of council shall be limited to 3 consecutive terms. And my thought process here is that this should be eliminated just the way the other 95% of towns in the municipality are with city form of government. This was enacted in the 70s when we had precincts. We had 10 precinct councilors, I believe, and 3 at large, perhaps.
13.
You're right, 10 and 3. And then you could live in precinct 5, and there wouldn't even be 90 voters total for the entire election. And now it doesn't work anymore, and that's why it almost exists in no town. And I just think it's an outdated thing. You're limiting the candidate pool, and that's pretty much it. It's just something that's very outdated. And there's no term limits for school committees. And there never has been because there were never precincts. And now that there's no more precinct elections, just like school committee, this is very obsolete.
So just to be clear, you're recommending no term limit. I mean,
Well, that's my opinion. I think
No,
that
I
this
just wanna make
I
sure
think
I
this should be
understand
striked. Yes.
Yeah,
It's
okay, so, okay.
yeah. So if I'll take discussion on this, but I'm also looking for someone to make a motion to eliminate this from the charter. Which, let me be clear. This board is a recommending board. If you recommend to the town council, it'll go to the town council. The town council must vote it in, and then for any change that changes the way that the town is governed, it must go to the election in June, where the citizens have to approve it. So nothing here can get enacted out of these 7 items, to my knowledge, without the vote of the people. So you're not doing anything to this document by recommending it. You're just recommending, or you're not, a change. So is there any discussion, or is there any motions? George, Councilor Shenier?
I kind of agree with term limits being eliminated because if you look at the school committee is counsel to the school committee. Like we're counsel to the whole town.
Mm-hmm.
And we have no say in school committee business other than to approve their budget.
Mm-hmm.
We can't even deny their budget, to be honest. So I think it should be just uniform all the way around. So term limits, I'm in favor of eliminating.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
You make a motion?
Can I discuss more?
We can. If there's, I just want to. If there's a second, we can keep discussing without it. But
Okay.
if there's a second to the motion by anybody,
Second.
okay. So it is on the floor to recommend to town council to eliminate this. We'll continue discussion with Mr. Archie.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, as a voter of the town, what do term limits get me? How does that benefit me as a voter? Does it benefit me at all? I just can't see. I'm not seeing how it does.
Right. In my opinion, it allows. If you have term limits, institutional knowledge can be forced to stay home from any of the elder councilors, where in a day like today, there's not a lot of people that run for municipal government all over the country. And it actually strengthens bureaucracy, not democracy, because if you force out the consistency and the institutional wisdom and the experience, now you're forcing that experience to leave, and the next best thing is the bureaucracy of the establishment of this town hall, which is not what people wanted. It was supposed to be a voice of the people. So you're supposed to be able to elect the councilors you want to be in office, and I don't think anybody should be forced not to run, because there's not any board in town that ever has had that, because there's only been one board that had tiny elections, which was precinct elections here. And the other thing, it doesn't help you because elections function as term limits. You know, you
vote
have
every 3
3
years.
opportunities to not vote this person in, and again, there's 13,000 voters in Southbridge. Obviously not that many come out, but that's not what we're dealing with. We were dealing with back in the day with precinct 5. How many voters are actually in that district? The pool is extremely small and extremely manipulable, and that's why you had term limits. So I don't think it does help you.
Well, and I guess that's the only other question is okay, so there's a term limit, but that doesn't mean they can't run again ever in their life,
It's like 1 year off.
right? So what does that get us? So I don't see where this gets us anything as a voter of this town.
Right. It's no benefit to you
Okay.
anymore. It used to be when you could have grown up in the 70s and your parents knew everybody around you. No matter what, you could do anything you want and you get reelected until the cows come home.
Right,
You know?
the other thing that happens is, like Patty says, is the term limits, you take 1 year off, and what's 1 year?
What does that get you?
It doesn't get you nothing, it gets you prepared to run,
Yeah.
after
You're,
the
pu-
year.
you're punishing voters.
Right.
If they like this person and they're going to vote them in the next year after they come back, you're punishing the voters by not allowing them to have the representation that they want in town.
Term limits are at the box,
Mhm.
the ballot box, as far as I'm concerned. If they want you, fine, if they don't, that's fine too.
Yeah, elections are the mechanism of true accountability, and term limits removes democracy. Really, you're not allowed as the democratic
Convince me.
position, because a lot of people compare this to the presidency and stuff, but it's apples to oranges.
Yes.
300 million people and the
100%.
president of the United States of America, and you're talking about a volunteer position to represent your voice for your town budget and stuff like that. They're apples to oranges, and it was never enacted for any other reason but precincts, which was a huge fad back in the 70s around all of Massachusetts actually, and not even Boston has term limits anymore. My research, it was closer to 98% of city councils in Massachusetts don't have term limits. So those are my facts that I found. Does anybody else have any discussion?
Can I just,
Yes.
so it wasn't back in the 70s, it wasn't in there. They just added it when they redid the charter back in 2003.
Oh.
That's when they added it. And there's the note on the back of the page, on page 30 of the charter. And I don't know, it doesn't say why they did it, but they added it then.
Yeah.
And I agree with Patty. I mean, I don't see, the ballot box is the term.
Right, and that's just strange. I appreciate you correcting me on that, but that is that just poses the question. That's when precincts went away, I thought, in 2002.
No, let me think. No, it was a little bit before then, I believe.
Or
I don't remember.
strange and out of place then.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just a random thing.
Okay.
Why they put it in, I don't know, but,
Okay.
yeah.
Max, did you have anything?
No, it's an anachronism. I'm good with that. I'm in favor.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to say? Then the motion on the floor is to recommend to town council to remove section 223 completely. All those in favor to recommend to town council? Should I be roll calling these things? I should not. I mean, I'll do it anyway. Okay, how about we do that? We'll start this way. Roll call. Max Gullickson,
Yes.
John Matthew,
Yes.
Patty Dargy,
Yes.
Maddie Von Diaz,
Yes.
Michael Montigny, yes. Unanimous vote from this committee. Okay. Moving right along. Review, discuss the Southbridge Home Rule Charter, Section 263. Entertain a motion to recommend any changes to town council for approval. We don't need a motion just yet. So that 263 is every bylaw shall be read at 3 separate meetings before its passage. Now, this committee added this to our agenda not because we don't want 3 readings. We want to be able to waive 3 readings. We did this earlier this year. We had to go to a lawyer, and Jack came back with the information that with a unanimous vote of town council, you can waive them, and I'm trying to find out where that's even written. So there's no harm, I think, in making a clear-cut way, because a lot of councilors have told me they support this. So come up with the mechanism if you have any ideas.
Just now.
Yeah, Max.
Well, I mean, everybody probably agrees that it's such a waste of time. Nobody can hear what you're saying. The guy, whoever's reading is racing through it in
Yeah.
order to comply with this. And I don't know anybody who knows that, yeah, and then for a while you could waive it. I don't know why it needs to be read at all. If someone's that interested, I think if you make mention of the fact that there's change to this type of, in a general way, this type of language, and you can go on the internet or you can go to town hall and read it for yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean, whether you want to read it at the last meeting or not, but Jesus, if it's 6 pages long, I mean, even that is kind of, I mean, in my opinion, I don't think there should be a reading at all. I think anybody who wants to see it badly enough is, one, they're already going to know about it because they're a lawyer, and two, they're going to have all the, just like everything
They have
else in
access.
the world now. You
Sure.
can go on the internet and look
Access.
it up. This is an anachronism to a prior time too, when people went to town hall at a town meeting and that was it. That and the newspaper, right? Southbridge Review. No mas. You
Yeah.
don't need it. Just get rid of it altogether.
Well-
It wastes way too much of people's time because it's a foolish endeavor. No one can hear you. I mean, it's just right. You've read, and if you can, that's my opinion.
It's almost like what Patty said. What's the benefit to the voter
It's
for
just
you reading
none
it?
whatsoever.
You know,
Just put it on
You're
the town
pretending
website
to
read
care.
And before-
You know what I'm saying? You're just acting like, well, I care for you.
before I move further with discussion here, does anybody know if there's a state mandate or something that says that we have to read it 3 times? Because at least what counselors and other citizens have said is have the ability to waive them,
Well,
but
if
to
you put
post
it in
them.
the charter, you have to. I mean, all we're
Right.
saying is take it out. That's all I'm saying. Whether state has it or not, the
I-
town shouldn't do it.
I think when it goes on the agenda
Councilor
item,
Chenier.
the agenda item would have the bylaw that you would read at least once. So I kind of agree, we shouldn't have to read it, but at a minimum, or the most, would be 1 time.
At the
And
most.
The most.
Yeah.
Whether it's the very first time, I don't even know if it needs to go before council for three separate times, to be honest.
Yeah, and I did a quick search of Massachusetts law, and I'm not seeing anything.
Right, I do the same thing.
It says the attorney general might have like 90 days to approve or deny it, no matter what you do. But it says it's normally a charter thing. Yes, Ms.
Sorry,
Bonds.
because we are a town with a city form of government, we don't have to go through the AG for.
We don't.
No,
Okay.
no zoning
So the
bylaws.
only reason we're reading is because
But I don't
we're
know,
required by
like,
our charter.
yeah, was your thought process that once we vote here today, that you'd be in touch with legal counsel to see,
Oh, sure.
like Lauren Goldberg or something, because she knows our charter pretty well,
Yeah.
so.
Well, because all these things that we're recommending need to be worded perfectly. You know,
Yeah.
the attorney could even take the last one we did and tweak it to make it sound legit, the way it should be. Councilor Lazo, Chairman Lazo.
Mike, I mean, it's interesting how councilors have been trying to conquer this 3 reading. Councilor Marquetti came up with the most creative one where he actually read the bylaw and then put it on a machine and then hit fast and he spoke fast. And that was considered a reading.
It's just so,
And as Max said, okay, you're trying to conquer the problem, but you're not, because nobody understood a lot of it because it was so fast. To me, I don't know, I agree with Max on getting rid of the readings, or the right to waive a reading is another idea, or even somebody brought up, just read the changes. Okay, so if you change a line in it, you would highlight it in red and read the change. But the thing is, the change won't make any sense unless you see the rest of the text. So it's catch-20, it's one chasing your tail on it. And if it's legally to eliminate, because again, we're trying to be open and transparent on creating a bylaw that is going to make people do certain things. And, we have public hearings and we have the readings and nobody shows up for it. So I don't know what the right answer is, but I lean towards what Max is saying.
Just one more thing. It was in the old charter as well.
Okay.
Same wording. So I don't know if we're bound by that or if we're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It seems like a lot of municipalities, just by, again, quick Google searches, are doing second readings where, you know, the first reading they kind of do what you're saying with a summary or whatever. So then at the very next meeting, there's no reading. You vote or you don't vote. It kind of, it's like it gives the people the one meeting buffer to digest. And because it's a new law, citizens who didn't hear it might say, "Oh, I can come to the next meeting and voice my opinion." Now that I know, Councilor Weiser.
Back in the 80s, and you know, the way I recall it was, we used to waive the first reading, waive the second reading, amend on the third reading. Because remember why you're having the reading. It's to amend the bylaw and to allow the public to come to your meeting and have their own idea of how they want to amend it. They can come up with a recommendation to us, and we can take it under advisement, amend it accordingly, or not amend it accordingly. The whole thing is to spur discussion on that bylaw. And I think the intent is pure.
Right.
But then I think we get a little off track when they say, I want you to read that 9-page document 3 times. So you, as a charter commission or a charter revision board, you need to don't lose the intent, but find something a little more convenient to keep someone there reading all night long and not.
So we want to be transparent enough to that the citizens can know what bylaw we're talking about, what one we're. But reading the whole thing isn't
I
necessarily.
think 3 meetings with a general description of the changes that can be made, right? And if you need an attorney to help you write what those general changes are, then so be it. Wouldn't cost much. But to not read the whole thing, and then by naming the number of the bylaw, then
Right.
they can, and you can tell them you may refer it to the town and stuff. But a general over 3 meetings, and the last one be open the idea. But this will just be a tradition. Open the idea that encourage people to come forward, because that, like Scott said, that's where you're trying to. Anybody wants to input it, but I'd say general description, maybe the words to use.
Well, the first comments here were from you about eliminating it, and I don't think that's a bad idea. But why can't we maybe compromise and make it 2 readings? The 3 is kind of redundant at this point.
If it's 6 pages long, you're still wasting.
Well,
40 minutes.
no, we can
2 readings.
do the
Even
summary
1
the
reading.
way you said, but I don't know if we need 3 meetings.
Oh, you're saying just 2?
Do it the way you said, but with 2.
Chair,
Do what we want.
Yeah.
may I just suggest that we check with legal counsel to see if we actually are bound by the 3, or we can change it? Because there's no sense to bring it to the voters if we can't do it anyway.
Okay. Well,
You know, so maybe we should.
well, I'd still entertain a recommendation so that we can do that. And if it doesn't work, if we said we can't do it, then at this next meeting we can say, "Hey, agenda item number 5 never made it upstairs because legal counsel stopped us."
Okay.
But if you, I mean, you're
Councilor Shannon.
going to 2 is, go to 3 then. I mean, we're trying to streamline it.
Well, streamlining it would be getting rid of 3 and going down to 2.
That's not streamlining it.
Well, it's making it 2 weeks
Streamlining it a little
quicker.
bit.
It is.
A little
If you
bit.
go to 1, then we can streamline.
Do you want
it.
to? You want to eliminate it, right, George?
Correct.
Okay. Well, that's
Okay.
a little aggressive in terms of transparency, but I do appreciate your opinion there. And I mean, I disagree with you.
I think Max has a good idea.
Yeah.
Even if it was,
I'm cool with leaving it at 3 meetings too, because I mean, it's not going to take much time
What's the
out of
intent?
each meeting, and then you're never going to be accused of trying to hire or to push it.
Right,
through.
because if you
intent
do-
is for
You have
more
3 whole
people.
chances.
If you do no readings at all, right? If we eliminate that,
Oh, geez.
then
Yeah.
well, and we're trying to be transparent. Like it just
And
doesn't.
accountable.
Okay.
Exactly.
So here's what we have to do then. We have a couple things we have to do. If we're going to keep 3 readings as the recommendation, the first thing is a summary must be given, right? A summary
Yeah.
at first meeting.
General summary.
General summary
Yeah.
at first meeting. But I mean,
And second reading and encourage participation or or changing or
And point in the direction where you can do further research.
for the third
A
one.
general summary in all three of the meetings too. In my worldview, you're not reading it ever, if anybody.
So
You're just describing.
Instead of every bylaw shall be read, a general summary of every bylaw shall be
Every
read.
bylaw change will be read for 3 consecutive
Okay,
meetings.
so every because the bylaw 262 and stuff talks about that. So 263 is just about the reading. So we would put every bylaw shall have a general summary read. At 3 separate meetings before its passage, period. But now the thing that everybody's looking for is guidance on how to waive that.
Well, you wouldn't waive
Sidebar.
it.
That on the side thing.
You wouldn't be
Well, it'd
waiving
be
it
the
no
next
more.
sentence.
The option,
If you think that you want to give the council the option of waiving the readings,
Mhm.
and you want to put that option in there, that's fine. I just think that we can't lose the intent of, we want citizens and councilors to amend this bylaw or accept it as written. That's the intent of what we're doing here. And to do it 3 times, I think the intent was to see if anybody wants to do it. I mean, as chairman of the council, I've always said, we'll amend on the 3rd reading, so we can get the text done, and then accept it. Which simplified an amendment on the 1st reading, an amendment on the 2nd, which we would have taken it, because we can. Well, I think streamlining it the way you're talking about the description, not the whole
Okay,
verbiage,
so
and giving it the option of waiving, you're not doing the full reading anyways.
so
So what are you waiving, the general knowledge?
we don't need to put language in there about waiving because why waive a summary?
Right.
Right.
You're talking a few
You know, that's
sentences.
no longer an issue. You don't need it no
Unless
more
you're
because
adding
you're not
a
reading it.
completely different
Right.
bylaw.
Right. You're
Then you
gonna-
might want to put
you
what
simplify
Scott
it
said
even more by just
is an
making it a
option
general
to,
summary.
for the council to vote to waive the reading.
I think the general summary streamlines it.
And then there's no waive nothing. You're not gonna waive the general summary. You're just gonna read the general summary. And
So
offer guidance on where to do further research. And then, and then the 3rd one go. And
so Maddie just brought up a great point about we've been talking about bylaw changes. What about a new bylaw?
about what
A
now?
brand new bylaw.
right, that's why you should have the option to waive the 1st and 2nd reading.
Right, so put it in
Consider-
there
you could
somehow.
Just put it as considered read, or considered read. And if you look at the Senate, the US Senate, they just put a heading, this is what they're voting on.
Yeah, but that's zero transparency.
Right, but that, I'm not saying not to do that, I'm just saying you give them the option to waive a reading.
Well, if you're gonna do that, why don't you give them the option to read verbatim the new language? I mean, because the default's gonna be general summary, but instead of that, if you're gonna include, then you have the option to read it. If you give these further clarification in the case of a new one,
Right?
then you have the option to make a motion to read it rather to supplant the general summary. The general summary do you go to and be 90% of the time, and then 10% of the time you're going to, if you want to, really be clear, then you have the option to waive the general summary and do a reading. How's that? Right? Because this is going to
There's
be
a million
reversed
ways to
now.
cut the
I know.
apple here, and it's interesting because now the first sentence is every bylaw shall have a general summary read at 3 separate meetings before its passage, period.
Right. That's it. But you have the option, if you want that, you have the option to say, okay, but we'd like, as council, we think it's important in
Remember,
this
it goes to
case.
subcommittee.
Huh?
It goes to subcommittee
It
too.
goes to
you-
subcommittee.
General
Yeah,
government.
yeah, all of that.
You
You're
know.
not the 10.
So even more opportunity
Come
for
up
people.
with
Right.
a
to
bylaw.
weigh in.
Okay, so I'm fine with it being left like this. We don't need to, what if people do want to read it? Then what do you do?
You
I
tell
think
them
if
to go to
if
the
that's the
internet.
case, give the council the option, whoever the council is.
Do we need to put a vote of 6 out of 9 can make it so the reading must be done? Or-
No, just, it can be waived a simple majority.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all.
In other words, if you give it the sidebar of, you don't have to do 3 readings, you can waive the reading. Some councils are gonna say, I want it read, well, read it.
Okay, so do we want the first sentence that we've had and then the second sentence to be the reading of the general summary can be waived by a vote of 5 councilors?
And be replaced with a verbatim reading of the new language. like that, something like that.
Somehow you have to separate the new bylaw from the amended bylaw. The
It-
design, the
They're
design
different
of the
things.
thing.
Yeah.
If you're going for a new bylaw, you're going all of it.
Right.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Maybe
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
so
Okay.
you wanna just read
Maybe
the part
that
that
a sentence
changed,
that just
right?
says that.
See,
So-
if you're amending the bylaw, Max, you're right.
Yeah.
Give the preamble and explain the intent.
All of it.
Of the amendment,
Yeah,
just the amended part. A brand new bylaw is a lot more work.
yeah.
You know what
I think
mean?
that, in my imagination, that's where you're gonna go ahead and waive it and read the whole thing. If you were ever gonna do that,
Right,
then that would be the
the
case.
introduction of the new.
Yeah, if
Okay.
you're
Oh, then
changing
you
the
gotta have a second
bylaw.
paragraph on it.
Well, hear me. Yeah, hear me out here. How about the first sentence say every bylaw change shall have a general statement read at 3 separate meetings before its passage. Every new bylaw shall be read at 3 separate meetings before its passage, but
With the option.
but the option to
Waive.
waive the reading by a vote of 5 councilors. Simple majority. Okay, so
I just think you're adding so much to it, you just leaving it
More complicated.
well, it's the clarity because the whole point is we had to
Right.
go through hoops to find out that Jack said unanimous vote can, which I think is
So,
true.
you leave-
I think it's
You leave what's in there
Not
now,
correct.
leave it in there, and just add the option of being able to waive the reading.
That's it.
yeah. So we're gonna go with a summary of.
Two
We're gonna do
sentences.
no. We're gonna do the summary. We're gonna recommend up here by what these people up here have said. The summary is only what needs to be read if it's a change.
Right.
You don't have to read the whole bylaw if it's a change. But if it's a brand new bylaw,
No, don't even say that.
Right.
In any case, and then the town council retains the right with a majority vote to request a verbatim reading.
so every new and or change to bylaw
Just saying
It's
bylaw.
gonna get a general
shall have a
summary.
general summary. Okay,
Yeah.
and then this reading can be waived.
No, you don't need to waive it. You can vote to have it read, is what I'm saying. You're gonna get a general summary over 3 meetings, and then you're gonna vote your change. And then at any one of those meetings, a counselor can say, I make a motion
Okay.
to read it.
So what
And
is
you can, by a majority vote, read it.
what does anybody have an opinion on that at the table? And first, before I go back to counselors,
Just the
where
word
you-
change, just change to amend.
Right.
amend. Okay,
Don't
every
use,
Correct.
Don't use that term.
every bylaw
Amendment.
amendment.
yeah.
Okay.
Any current bylaw.
How
Any-
about that?
any
Good
cur-
one.
any-
Any current bylaw.
Well,
Amendment.
any bylaw that's getting amended is
It's
a
gotta
current
be a
bylaw.
current,
Yeah,
You can't
But-
amend something that's not a bylaw.
Yeah, you
Sure.
can amend something that's not.
Well, every bylaw amendment
yep.
or new bylaw or new bylaw.
So is that what you're gonna do? You go.
well, is that
into-
what this committee wants to recommend?
That's what Max was alluding to,
You-
correct?
You're saying for all of them, for changes and new ones, summaries.
Every
all of them.
amendment or change in a bylaw or addition, every amendment, change or addition, or every amendment, change the same thing, every amendment or addition of town bylaw will be described at 3 separate meetings before voted.
That's not a bad way to
change.
start. Every amendment
Every amendment, every
Or-
bylaw amendment, or
Or addition.
or additional
new
or
bylaw.
new additional.
Yeah. So are you doing just bylaws of
Yeah,
the
that's
ordinances,
about
or
right.
are you
That's
doing
all
zoning
that's
as well? Or does it,
Well,
it just,
that's the
It's
whole
all-
263.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that's
yeah,
all.
And
alright.
it's only one sentence.
okay,
So every bylaw amendment, and again, when I put and or new bylaw, this is something the attorney is going to tell
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
is
we
correct.
just gotta get close.
Every bylaw amendment and or new bylaw shall have a general summary read at 3 separate meetings. Period.
Mike?
Yes, Councilor Shania.
Prior to adoption
Your
or something.
question. Bylaws, are we talking general bylaws? Are we talking the personal bylaws that we have not acted on the council in years and years?
right, personnel is personnel rules and regs, so it's called something completely different.
Yeah.
My question was bylaws meaning both the ordinances and the zoning, but I guess that's all just wrapped into
They're
one.
both bylaws.
Okay.
If you feel like putting every bylaw and zoning bylaw amendment and or new. I don't think it's a,
No, right, it's kind of
Yeah.
redundant, so
Okay.
we're gonna simplify.
okay.
Like,
Councilor
picture it this
Lazo.
way, picture it this way. You're sitting as the chairman of the council, the bylaws come up. It went through subcommittee and they came out with a recommendation to amend the bylaw,
Right,
or to create a bylaw.
right.
It comes up to us, what do you wanna do with it? Now, if it's just an amendment, we have a bylaw we're dealing with, and you change this and this and this, then the general goes under what Max said, the general
General summary.
thing is a general summary on the change.
Yeah,
Right.
if it's new,
Exactly.
then
And now, if it's a new bylaw, brand new AZ, if there's a general summary of it,
Yeah.
I still don't think, I think that you need the whole package on that one, because it's never been read.
Yeah.
Right.
So then,
Creation.
then you offer language that allows the council to instead of waive the reading, to use that word waive, allow the council to request or waive and to request a reading.
And
So if you, and you're right, if
How
there's
the board,
brand new one, you're not tweaking this,
Don't
and
need
this,
to-
but brand new.
well, I think what
Yeah.
he's trying to say is brand new. It should be the old way,
Just guaranteed like that.
and there should
with
be
the option of the two
with the
ways.
option of the wave,
Yeah,
not the
okay.
option to read
Yeah.
and force people to read. More like it's in the charter that you have to read a new bylaw unless a certain amount of councilors, which we still have to decide, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Majority.
Majority.
Yeah.
simple majority, because
Right.
5 is all you need to enact a bylaw.
Right.
So 5 would be all you need to waive the
That's why for some reason I see two paragraphs.
or at least
Yeah.
2
You know what I'm saying?
sentences.
In
Sure.
other words, I like what Max is bringing to the
Okay.
table on
One, two.
amending.
The
All right.
majority of
Now
the time.
creating, there's amending and there's creating.
Yeah.
Every bylaw amendment shall have a general summary read at 3 separate meetings. Every new bylaw shall be read at 3 separate meetings before its passage. If a council chooses to waive, councilors can choose to waive a bylaw reading with 5 simple majority.
Oh, you can put with the
Simple
option.
majority.
Simple majority,
Right.
vote of the council. And again, the lawyer is going to word that correctly so it makes sense for this document.
Maybe the lawyer's gonna tell you you only have to do one reading by law.
You don't have to do 3. You don't have to do 2. You don't have to do 1. You just put it on the agenda if you want, and it gets approved that night. I've already looked it up. It's
Right.
not state law.
Our charter doesn't say that.
Yeah,
If you want to align it, then you align it with one.
charter's the only thing that's making us in the state, as far as my research goes. The charter's the only thing that's forcing us to read this 3 times. There's no other language anywhere that says anything like that in
I don't want to
Massachusetts.
change it anyway.
No,
I like
it's transparent.
so there.
I'd be open to changing it to
Create
2.
opportunity for the people. to
No
do
change.
work. That's what that's for.
Okay,
Can I just
Ms. Dargy, please.
the only other way maybe is if we said that even new or old, you have a general summary, and when a new one comes up, the council has the ability to request a full reading,
Right.
a complete reading.
I think
that's it.
I hear what you're saying, and I think that's what we were saying, what Max was saying. But in
But I think, make it a requirement. I think he's right. It's 2 things.
Well,
Amendment versus new. Let me ask you, how many of them are amendments, like a percentage versus new? Like,
Yeah.
80% are amendments,
Yeah.
90%.
Mostly
We're always
amendments.
tweaking the bylaw to try
Yeah.
and fit the modern day
Right.
guy.
Correct.
Trash
So-
might be a new one.
So if we're gonna keep it the way it is, like this, charter, Constitution of Southbridge here should force transparency, and the council should be the ones that take it away in the sense of a general summary instead, or waiving of a reading.
Yeah. You said it already. You already said the language.
So.
All right.
Amendment is a general
I'm with you.
summary.
Period. Next sentence is every new bylaw, just like it shall be read at 3 separate meetings.
With the option to waive.
Read at 3 separate meetings before its passage. Period. The town council again, the town council can request, can vote to waive the readings with a simple majority.
No. Period.
I mean, if you have a really hot topic, you're gonna have councilors that wanna read the whole thing.
Okay.
You're gonna have the public, and it will be amended on, I only request amending at the last It doesn't say that we can amend it the first meeting or second meeting. I just simplified by trying to get it at the last.
Understood. Okay, so I don't believe we have a motion and a second for this yet, but yes, Maddie.
So, Maddie.
Yeah, I almost did
It's
it.
all right. I'm just reading the Reading one, and they have it broken down in their article. 1-2 is construction of a bylaw, and then 1-3 is amendment of a bylaw.
See, we just did the same thing.
Well, I guess
So,
and it's okay the way we're doing it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's okay
sure.
the way they've done it.
yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I don't
it's-
know if for clarity, for like the next
Is it
charter
like
commission
separate?
or charter committee,
Uh-huh.
that it's broken down. I mean, I don't think it would hurt to break it down, or we could just leave it like that. But that's Reading. I mean,
You mean like split it into 263 and 264? But I think there's already
Or
a
two
264.
paragraphs
already
like
two six
Mr.
four.
Laws
yeah.
mentioned.
So
I think it's
Totally different.
I think it's okay to be in the same
Right.
section. It's talking about readings of bylaws,
Okay,
amendments.
correct. Yeah.
It could be in the same section, but the thing is, it should be treated differently.
Yeah,
Right.
if whether it's a separate paragraph or a separate sentence, that's what I think we pay the lawyers for.
Even
Right.
if
to
you go
make sure.
1.A,
right,
1B.
right,
Correct.
Like,
These
so
brand new-
construction of a bylaw,
Right.
amendment of a bylaw.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this for the record, and then I'm gonna look for a motion in a second. With every bylaw amendment shall have a general summary read at 3 separate meetings before its passage. Every new bylaw shall be read at 3 separate meetings before its passage. The town council can vote to waive the new bylaw readings with a simple majority. Vote. Simple majority vote, period. And
No,
we will send this to the lawyer for the proper language. The proper spacing and sectioning and paragraphs. And I'm looking for a motion from someone.
Motion.
A second.
Okay, we've got Max seconding for John. Okay. Any more discussion, anybody? No? All right, we'll do a roll call vote, and we'll start with John Matthew,
Yes.
Patty Dargy,
Yes.
Matty Von Diaz,
Yes.
Michael Montigny, yes, and Max Gullickson.
Yes.
Great. Guys, that one was pretty much the one that we had to really kind of create a new section out of this. So I appreciate the think tank, however you want to call it. It was a good group discussion. All right. This agenda item number 6 is review, discuss Home Rule Charter sections 3-1-1 and 3-4-1. Entertain a motion recommending changes to town council for approval. This is regarding the town clerk. So I know Ms. Bonadiaz has to abstain, and she also probably.
I'm
What do
gonna
you feel?
recuse
You're going to recuse yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I don't think we need to ask any questions or anything of you. So I would say if you would recuse and just go sit
Yeah,
with
just go
Scott
over
for a
and
second.
follow
He won't bite.
She's a lifer.
She's a lifer. No, guys, this is on the. This wasn't actually even brought up by anybody at this table. This is a question that people have. I brought it up because people always say, "Do you do appointed? Do you do elected?" And I want to know that on paper here it was discussed. And my thought process is that it should stay the same as an elected official. And here's why. As an elected official, you're hired by the people and you work for the people. And there have been town managers in the past, I'm sure Ms. Bonadiaz could attest to this, but there have been town managers in the past that try to get the clerk to do something that the clerk's office should not do. Max has worked in this office before, and I just think, you could be worried about the wrong person getting elected, someone that has no sort of educational background in this sort of thing at all. But I think if Ms. Bonadiaz were to retire tomorrow, that on this next election, if you're so in a position for $80,000-$90,000 for an elected official, you're going to have people of like knowledge and good character. I mean, Mr. Gullickson would be qualified to run. I'm just saying, anybody is qualified to run, but in my mind, I don't think you have to worry. When it's in the hands of the people and these voters, I think they're going to always choose a very competent clerk. Now, when you have appointed, that's where it can start to get fishy, and people in the bureaucracy can start to do whatever they want, and they can start controlling the clerk's office, which is supposed to be for the people. And that's why I think it's a really important position. I think it's an important office in this town hall. And I think that since I was even a little kid coming here all the time, I think that office is just a place where you feel safe because you know that the people that are working there work for you. And I don't think it should be changed. I think there should be no recommendation. Nobody here said there should be. Again, I just wanted this to be read into the record.
Are you talking both of those, 311?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
because
okay.
3-1
That's
just
all it's-
yeah, and just so people watching know, 3-1-1 talks about all the elected officials
Oh,
in
I see.
town, and C is a town clerk, letter C, and then 3-4-1 says the town clerk shall be elected to serve a 3-year term. The town council the town clerk shall receive such compensation not to exceed the amount appropriated by council. So
You looking for a motion?
no, I'm looking to keep it the same and not make any
a
changes.
Motion, no changes be made.
I don't even think you have to because the agenda says entertain a motion to recommend changes. So we
We're
don't
not
need to
changing
entertain a motion to
We
do
don't wanna
nothing.
change.
We're just going to move forward if you don't want to
We're
change.
not bringing it forward.
Council
I
Shen.
really think you should consider making a change because of the type caliber person that could be very capable of winning an election. And that has been seen in the past. We've just been lucky that Maddie came on board, people like Maddie, she serves well and that kind of stuff. The thing I question is if it was an appointed position, the question would be, can you make it totally autonomous
You
away
can't.
from the town manager?
You can't.
I just-
You can't make it
Why
totally
can't?
autonomous
Why can't you?
because then that should be an elected official. You know, to be autonomous away from the town manager. That's what an elected
Again,
official
it's
is.
just my personal
Well,
opinion.
I do appreciate that. You know,
And then on the other matter is, while on that bylaw 311, why do we elect a 4-member housing authority, a 4-member redevelopment authority, and part-time members to the Board of Assessors? Why do we elect that? Can somebody answer me that
Council
question?
Lazo.
At one time, when I got on the council, we had, the treasurer was, elected,
Yeah.
everybody in the town hall was elected. What's happened is, you want a balance of, you want the people to have control over some of these boards,
Absolutely.
by having people input. You don't wanna erase the actual grassroots of Southbridge.
No.
So what they think is, if we have these boards, some of them are elected and some of them are appointed. The treasurer went through the appointment when it used to be elected, because there was a problem in the office, and they wanted to make the finance department more corporate to the managers of the council, because the finance committee was abolished. So the history behind it is the housing authority, okay, they've always been elected to board. Now, I don't know if that's because of the state, because their state gets one governor's appointment.
Right, one government.
Everybody has tried to be kind of transparent and open on it by keeping the public trust involved with the elections. That's why, for me, Matty Dowse, I can go back to Lenti, I can go back to Boyer, I can go back to Waldinger.
Right.
There was always somebody, like you say, an $80,000 position is not, hey, you're gonna get somebody locally to run for that position.
Right.
I'm not worried about voting in somebody that can't do the job, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because the previous speaker said something about incompetent people in the past, and you just named all the clerks.
We've
We
gotta-
haven't
we've gotta
had.
No, not
No,
potential incompetent
Councilor
people.
Chenier,
Yeah, because-
incompetent people come out to run against the establishment when they don't like things. Well, if Maddie were to retire and there were to be an open position, you would have a flock of well-competent individuals in that
I hope
race.
you're right.
Well,
I
I have to
think-
bet on the voters of this town
But I-
and the people's
But I think
transparency.
even more, it being independent of the manager and the council
Yeah,
is politically correct.
right.
Correct.
I'm a politician. I'm running for office. That lady over there is probably one of the most honest ladies,
Oh, I know that.
besides the past clerks.
Right.
You need somebody in that, the integrity and the honesty in that position must come from the electorate. Can't come from the appointed.
Right.
Because the minute someone appoints, someone thinks like they're friends or they owe somebody something. I think we need to keep it the way it is.
And that's why I wanted this to be heard. I know I could have just not put this on because it came from me, but I want the
Well,
minutes.
it's been asked for numerous times, you're right.
Well, I just wanted the minutes to reflect that this conversation was had, and good conversation, because Councilor Shenny, your point is well heard. I I just don't think it's realistic when there's a vacancy. And when there's not, I don't think the people of this town are unintelligent and uneducated voters. I think they know very well who should be getting paid money to be in charge of all their stuff. So I just don't think that the voters of this town will ever vote incompetency into this building in that position.
I think the pool will be very healthy when it opens up.
Absolutely. That's my opinion. And if anybody has any other discussion.
I agree.
Okay, so I don't need a motion, correct, Mr. Chairman? We just move on. There's no change. Okay. Agenda item number 7. Moving right along. Miss Bonadias, you can return. Review discuss Southbridge Home Rule Charter Section 4-1-3. Entertain a motion to recommend any changes to Town Council for approval. This came up about. We just questioned. I think this might have been more me as well. Are we happy with the way this is after doing some research on my own? And again, this was another thing that I brought to the table. I mean, I thought to myself, if you're going to hire a town manager, the town council is going to set the requirements anyway. But this charter forces the town council to have certain requirements. And I personally don't mind the charter forcing you to have a bachelor's degree. And I think that the town council should be forced to request that you need at least a bachelor's degree it says in here of any kind. And I don't think we should make it any harder. I don't think we should walk it further. I think this isn't
At the very least.
right. This is at the very least. This is not the job requirement. This is the Constitution of Southbridge says this is the minimum. Council could go vote. They need a doctorates in psychology or something. That would be bizarre. But Mr. Gullickson.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for recognizing me. I would take it one further and say that there's no requirement for the town manager, that it's strictly based on the election of the town council. Don't put any restrictions on your town council, and trust that when the time comes that the town council is going to know enough that they're going to hire someone qualified. And that person is de facto going to have a degree. Probably going to have your public administration degree, master. Don't put any, who knows who's going to come along, but I say no requirement. The town manager shall be appointed by a majority vote of the town council.
And the council is able to set
Whatever they want to do,
when
but
they
the
post
town
the
charter
job.
says that this is all you require.
Right.
The town council votes it.
So
Now you can let them do whatever they want.
Your
but
success-
this body doesn't require them to do anything, or him to have anything else.
Okay.
Leave it to a lower. Don't handcuff it like you said with this language. And the best way to do that is to have no language.
Right, because the council could right now decide to say
They're never
to
gonna
say
hire
6-year
somebody,
6-year degree with 5 years of experience.
And they
This
will.
is just telling you this is how far you can walk it back. And I think Max is trying to say that what council wouldn't ask for a bachelor's,
None of them.
in the future. Now, listen, I can support that, Mr. Gullickson, and I'm opposed. I want to hear what everybody has to say.
If I could go one more step.
Yes,
on
please.
it. Because the reason why you would do that, and the problem with, and every time they struggle with it, all the boards come out, well, let's just ask for this, we need a CPA. We don't if they have a degree in sociology because they know people. You can go crazy with that. Yeah, but you can avoid all of it by just eliminating any argument. You're not going to try to fine tune the perfect manager in the town charter. You're just going to say that town council is responsible for hiring him. Because that will lead to, believe me, there's going to be many roads that shoot off from that. But at the beginning, at the start here, clear the air through the charter and in my opinion, let the town council do their job. Any way they see fit. They were elected to.
And again,
I
based
keep
on
pointing at you. I don't mean you. I mean
Should
the
there
town
be
council.
something in here to
I
say
understand.
that the town council will set the criteria?
that's.
I mean, that's
Or
I don't want
just leave it blank?
Yeah, no, and that's great. I love the both sides of the thing. Again, based on my research, this is not a state requirement that there be the requirements in here. So you're basically saying, strike all this.
Don't have the town charter create a requirement.
I understand.
You see what I'm
If a
saying?
resident
I'm
of
not
town,
saying you shouldn't have a degree. I'm just saying.
I'm going to give you the
charter
floor in
shouldn't
just a
be
second.
right.
If a resident of the town, the successful candidate shall have held no elective municipal office. We got to keep that one for conflict of interest. This section.
Oh
right
yeah.
here.
Otherwise, yeah.
But
okay,
you're saying
right.
to strike this paragraph and put the town council will set the requirements
The town manager shall be appointed by a majority vote of the town council.
and the requirements.
And he can't have worked for,
Will be
for
set.
a year.
And the requirements.
The
No, there's no
requirements.
requirements.
No,
You
will be
don't-
set
no.
by town council.
No, don't even do that.
Well,
Don't put that in there.
Well, I think the council should be the one that sets the requirements.
Well, you don't have to say that. They
I
will.
think they're gonna do it regardless. The minute you say the town council.
It's good, but if we're the council, they're the ones that set the requirements. Right.
Yeah, because we're at the top of,
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I won't argue that. If you want to put that, but I don't think you need it.
Well, okay, let's give the floor to Ms. Dargy so we can hear the other
Thank you.
side. Yes.
So you're saying that 5 people are gonna have the ability to vote on a town manager?
Yeah.
These
9
5 people,
9.
no, majority
Well,
vote.
the majority
No,
vote.
To confirm would be 5, 9 would discuss. In other words, when
I
we,
get it, the
when we
discussion.
start a process of search, we're gonna all sit down as a council and say, okay, what do you wanna do? And then you're gonna say, well, you're gonna, here it is set of criteria. And then what you're gonna do is create a town manager search committee.
Yep.
So then the search committee will recommend to the council. So like Dave Adams was the chairman of the search committee. He comes up with, and the council told him how many candidates you want in front of you. You could say, I want 5, I want 4.
And the
I did a
requirements.
nationwide search to find the town attorney at the end of the hall. But we had a nationwide search. They came in from all over the United States, only to appoint Florence Chandler. But the council, that was their choice. You're empowering the council on this one.
So,
Correct.
Ms. Dargy, so the
Is it
5.
too much power? 5 people get to vote who gets the
Yeah.
final
That's
job,
the way it
correct?
is now.
So do that.
I know. So what I'm saying is that why can't we have at least the low bar of a 4-year degree? Because that's as low as it should go.
So you're saying that like the reason would be to prevent the council from hiring someone with like
Correct.
no diploma.
Correct. Their buddy from Auburn who
You'd have to be
The
buddy
way-
to 5 of them,
Yeah,
and it
you'd
would
have
be
to be
political.
all you
death
need is
knell.
5
I
people
just
to
don't see
agree.
it.
For
Yeah.
5 people to
It
agree.
could happen. It could happen.
Okay,
It could happen.
understood.
I say there has to be a minimum.
Does anybody else at the table have an opinion to
Of course,
share?
I'm an educator.
I agree with Ms. Dargy.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah,
You agree with
I
Max?
agree with Max.
Simplify it. Let 'em do
Keep
the
it
work.
simple.
Yeah, otherwise you can
I
argue
mean,
for an
I
hour
can
and a
see
half.
Patty, but I mean,
How many degrees?
what are the
you know?
chances of 5 people? I mean,
Yeah.
There is a in this town.
Well,
Well,
what are the chances of?
yeah, you just never.
You know this.
I mean, that's.
You know the stalemate.
That's
I'm
po-
inclined to
no,
ask the town council and
that's
recommend
almost-
it to
that's almost
upstairs.
political suicide.
Okay.
well, let's take a vote and then,
So
I think
you
there's
guys
two
need
sides.
you guys need a motion in a second, and you're saying strike this paragraph. Period.
Yeah, I think Mike, except for the last bit about they need a year break or
So
however you want to.
413 only says if a resident of the town, the successful candidate shall have held no elective municipal office for a period of 1 year prior to appointment. I'm sorry. So we don't we cross this out, and you guys are saying the town manager shall be appointed by a simple majority vote of the town council.
Period. And then the last part about that.
And then the last part about
And
that.
so I would make that a motion, and then if people disagree, they can vote not to, and then the town council will know that there was some dissension on the board, because there is.
I'll second.
And seconded by John. Okay.
Does everybody go with
Councilor
I got
Lazo?
a question. You read something that you can't hold.
Conflict of interest law.
You're leaving that in there, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's,
the paragraph chunk is about requirements. Strike the paragraph and replace it with the manager shall be appointed by a simple majority of the town council, period. And then the next little carriage return a couple times, and it says if a resident of the town, the successful candidate shall have held no elective municipal office for a period of 1 year prior to appointment.
That means we can't appoint Maddie?
As the manager after
We
she
have to wait
retires?
1 year?
Right.
Yeah, she had to wait out for a year.
And because that's Massachusetts is 6 months, correct? And then the town charter is 1 year. Is that right?
I'm good with a year.
I'm good with a
it
year.
should be more stringent and not less stringent.
Right, I'm good with a year. So, well, anyway, you guys have motioned and seconded. I think the people on the floor understand what the motion is.
Yeah.
Where is it?
And
Question.
Council Lazo.
We passed, and it passed the ballot, what, 80%? Town manager has to live in Southbridge?
Yeah, over 80%.
Residency?
Yep.
What,
Is that in the charter?
Yes.
Yeah, it is in
Yeah.
the charter. Where I only have
further
my
down.
notes here. It's close to it.
We don't have to add to it.
No, that's already been.
It's already been.
That's not in this paragraph. This is just about. This is about educational requirements and qualifications.
No, I just,
Yeah,
I understand that.
yeah,
A minimum.
I understand. Okay. So,
Go ahead.
you know, I was just trying to say here that these are recommendations to full council, and full council can do what they want with them anyway.
Right.
And
Correct.
if there's indecision down here, then like I don't want to be the be all end all that says no, the town council's not allowed to hear it when half the board is interested in it. So I'm just saying, as a unbiased chairman, I'm asking other people to solve our stalemate in some way.
Yeah, but as a member of this board, you have to vote on this motion.
I will.
All right,
I will
just
vote
saying.
yes on this
To the
motion.
tiebreaker, I'm just saying.
Is
I'm
anybody?
counting.
Yeah, anybody else have any discussion?
Right.
All right, we're gonna start with Ms. Stargy. Roll call.
No.
Ms. Bondias.
No.
Mr. Montigny, yes. Mr. Gullickson,
Yes.
Mr. Matthews.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a vote of 3-2 to recommend this change upstairs to council.
May I just?
Yes.
In the old charter, it was also worded the same that the town manager needed a bachelor's as well, in the old charter.
Say that again, Matty?
In the old charter, it did say that the town manager needed a bachelor's.
And when you keep saying old charter, you mean before 2002, right?
Correct.
When they made
Yeah.
the big
This-
changes
Yeah,
and
this one's
stuff.
obsolete, this is an old one, this is from 73,
Okay,
the old one.
awesome.
And to answer Mr. Chenier's question, it's in 4-2-5.
/2. Okay, I was trying to find it.
I gotta tell you, food for thought, if I'm on the council and we're gonna appoint a town manager, he will have a degree.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But I understand in creating government bylaws and stuff, I understand what Gus is saying. The council is representative of the people and they should set that.
right, okay.
So I do understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
And if I'm the council up there, minimum, you need an education to be a town manager.
Yeah,
The experience and a lot of other stuff come to play. We were marginal on Jack Jovin. He had administration, he was a police officer, a firefighter. He had different qualifications. He had the degree, and he continues to work on it. But I think leaving it up to the council is a philosophical difference. I don't think anybody disagrees with what the girls are saying as far as the
right.
degree.
Max, one more
Just
thought
one
before we
thing,
move
just real
on.
quick. You talked about the firms that come in and give you candidates. When's the last time a candidate was presented to you who didn't have a degree?
No.
Like never, right? So I mean, yeah, that's all.
Okay, very good. Moving right along to agenda item number 8, review, discuss Southbridge Home Rule Charter sections 461. Entertain a motion recommending changes to town council for approval. This suggestion was made by Mr. Gullickson, and I would tend to agree. I think in the past, this was made in bad taste for political reasons and not anything to do with checks and balances on the town manager. So it says final removal of the manager shall be effected by a 2/3 vote of the entire council, i.e. a minimum of 6 votes at an open council meeting. That was a change that was made during Chris Clark's tenure here by a different council. And yeah, I think it was made for Chris Clark. I'll say that. I have no reserve in saying that. And I think that it should go back to 5 because it's 5 to hire, it should be 5 to fire. And that's my opinion, but I think that was what Mr. Gullickson said at the last meeting. Yeah, and
And this doesn't reflect at all on our current manager.
no,
I'm as a resident in this town, I've known Jeff forever. This is only about the language, and I mean, frankly, it probably wouldn't affect him in a practical way either.
no,
Which is a good thing, because now
Yeah.
we can sort of look at it without having to worry about people that we like,
Absolutely.
If I could speak about that. But I do believe, I think again, just like with the other, any language that, and you put it well, it's 5 to hire, 5 to fire. If the town council shouldn't need 6 members to remove a
I think
manager.
the
I mean, I
five
think
would be
that,
2/3.
you know, and if people don't wanna come here and work, and I've heard that before, then so be it. To me, yeah. But that's my thought.
Yes, Councilor Shaney, that's what we're discussing, is removing 2/3 and bringing it down to 5 votes.
Oh, okay.
Because it was put there in bad taste.
I'm ahead of myself.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That might be a good idea. I don't know. I just think it should be 5.
What is everybody else's flavor here about this? Does somebody want to make do you want a motion, Max?
Do anybody else have any thought? I mean, I don't want to be the only one, right? You guys, I mean, do you feel strongly?
I'm just wondering why it was changed.
To protect the
Yeah.
manager, and that's my opinion.
Exactly what it was done for.
It was done to protect the manager by certain councilors.
Really?
I
And
like Jack Jovan.
Yeah.
I'm a big supporter of Jack Jovan.
so am I.
And maybe I should act my friend, as they say, leave it 6 so no one can touch them. No.
No.
You come in with 5, you go out on 5.
Yeah.
Just my opinion, but I think Max has hit it on the head. This was a preferential change that
Yeah.
shouldn't happen.
And for the people who throw the friend comment around, I mean, we're here at the table trying to vote to make it easier to fire. Okay. But I think if that ever happened to Jack, it'd be 9-0 because he's everybody's friend in the whole town. I mean, if he did something crazy, you wouldn't have a 5-4 split. It'd be 9-0. And I already told Jack this was going to be on the agenda. He doesn't take any offense to this, and that it was recommended to go to 5. And personally, it's only fair. You know, it shouldn't be easier. You know,
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say, I think you got a wonderful board here, a great makeup, and I like the cross-section of the ideas. The decisions you make and the decisions that we make, we might not be here for the long haul. Maybe we're gonna, the council changes with elections. The clerk is gonna retire. We're not gonna be here. The document you're writing, the document you're writing
Think about it.
is for the future when we're not here. What do you
Right.
think is the best thing for the people?
Right.
And I think that's where, I really respect all of you, and I think you're doing a great job on it, but I like the discussion in the volley. That's real important when you do this work.
well, thank you. We appreciate that. And does anybody?
Maddie?
Man,
Yes, please.
come on, man. So, here I am at the old charter.
Yes.
The old charter said the final removal of the town manager can only be effected by a majority vote of the entire council.
Of the a majority
So-
vote,
so
so
you're
5.
right, right.
So 5.
So, right, so this
Okay.
is what the old was.
So in 02 it was 5. It was changed during Clark's tenure.
08, I think it was. I remember it was. It was Lou Nestor, Lisa.
Has it affected anybody else?
I thought it was Moriarty's election.
Nope.
I'm not sure, but either way, it was around those times.
Again, you wonder what it gets us,
It
right?
get-
Like,
it
what,
doesn't-
what does it get us to do it? And I don't.
It makes the voter harder for the voters' representation to get rid of something
Yep.
that 5 people wanted and 6 people need to not like him now. It's like that only comes up in politics and parliamentary procedure and Robert's Rules of Order for other things, not for the manager who makes $100,000 a year. You know. So Max, did you want to make the motion? Since it was, you'll make the John, and a second.
Second.
Patty, okay. Is there any other discussion? Okay, we're gonna do roll call. Ms. Bonadias?
Yes, right? That's-
What's the
Well,
motion?
Yeah,
the
wait.
motion is to change it
Okay,
To
to
five.
Okay.
final removal of the manager shall be effected by a simple majority vote of the council.
Okay.
However, the lawyer says it needs to be,
Right, right.
put the number 5 on there.
So there's no mix-up on the majority of what's present.
Simple
Right.
majority, okay.
You
Yeah,
could
that
have
happens.
8 people at a meeting and
Right.
the majority changes.
Right, of the
Like
full
5
council.
votes,
That's why it
5.
says of the full council in the
Number
old
5.
charter.
Yeah, right.
And number 5, very good. I'll start over then. Ms. Bonadias?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Montigny, yes. Mr. Gullickson?
Yes.
Mr. Matthew?
Yes.
Ms. Dargy?
Yes.
All right. Excuse me. This weather change. Agenda item number 9, review, discuss Southbridge Home Rule Charter Sections 10.10.1. Entertain a motion to recommend any changes to Town Council for approval. Max brought this forward as a public emergency affecting life, health, property, or the public peace. The Town Council may make emergency appropriations. Any such emergency order shall be so declared in an emergency preamble thereto, separately voted on and receiving the affirmative vote at least 2/3 of the full council membership, i.e. a minimum of 6. So when we're talking about emergencies, we mean like true, like state of the emergencies. And all Max had suggested at the last meeting was that we add into this language a funding source must be provided, which you can't spend money from nowhere. But I have no harm in adding into here wherever the lawyer sees fit that you must provide a funding source in your emergency preamble. And when you vote on it, there must be a funding source to vote on. So I'll start with Councilor Shenyer since he's got his hand
One
up.
reason I disagree with adding that funding source is because you take snow plowing.
Yeah?
That is one account that you are able to overspend
Overdraft.
and not know where that funding source is gonna come to pay the bill. So the state law allows you to do that.
But that's on an emergency.
Right.
That's just, that's
But in an emergency, you're gonna, I don't want you to tie the person's hands, the manager or the council's hands. When an emergency happens today, tonight, you gotta make that decision to bring something in, you don't know the funding source until tomorrow or the next day. That's all I'm saying. If you had a major fire here in town hall, and you had to relocate, that's an emergency situation where you might not know where the funding source is until later on, that's all.
I think, I just wanna comment, I try to reflect back to an exact time. When Vets Cab building, that building at the big hole on Main Street, when it went up in flames, there was an emergency council meeting to fund and vote to take the building down immediately. But when they voted, the funding source was there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to pull it out.
Yeah.
And so, I'm trying to think about like the tornado went through, that would be an emergency.
right.
Right.
And at that point there, an emergency meeting was called, I think Stevie was at my brother. They, with the state, they all had a big powwow and the state aid came in and the funding sources arrived right after when the dust settled a little bit.
Okay, Mr. Cullickson had his hand up.
No, never mind.
You're good? Anybody over here?
So,
Ms.
can I,
Pontius?
yes, may I just ask for clarification? What are you actually changing? What's the verbiage?
Trying to add that a funding source must be
Must be
stated.
stated.
And I'm not exactly I don't think any of us are exactly sure where those words should go.
Okay.
Like exactly in this
Okay,
paragraph,
so
but
you didn't change it from here to here yet?
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just want to
Alright.
add that you should have to have a funding source. Or that's what Max's
At
recommendation.
the time of the
at
emergency meeting.
I don't feel all that strongly. I'm more kind of wondering if we should, because unlike the federal government, we have a fixed budget. You're not allowed to spend over it, and really, you shouldn't. You not ought to. God loves an emergency, you know. I mean, and I can't predict what they are, but if you don't have the money, unfortunately, you're. So I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you should just. I mean, if somebody's buried in their house, you need.
Let me just add
$3,500.
something to
Figure out a
the
way.
discussion.
Yes, Mr. Lazo.
We as a council right now, the town, we have all types of different accounts, okay? We have the, I always forget them because there's so many of them, you know, like there's the water account, the sewer account. But we have a stabilization account, that what we do is, we do salt money away into the stabilization, into capital, and you know, you get your free cash. So most of the time in an emergency, that's what I'm trying to get to. These accounts are set up where the stabilization fund is to stabilize in an emergency.
Right.
So the money's there and there are different funding sources that we have. You know, we could go right to free cash, but it takes a council vote. It takes 2/3 to take it out of, it's difficult to take it out. There better be a good reason.
Right.
If you're coming out of stabilization.
And this requires 2/3 the way it's written now.
Stabilization 2/3.
Well, this emergency thing also requires 2/3 the way it's written.
I understand,
Right.
but you wanna add the language, it's not bad.
Right, right.
But I'm not sure it's needed.
The old way is way different. If you want, I'll read it. To meet a public emergency affecting life, health, property, or the public peace, the town council may make emergency appropriations. That's the same. This is what changed. This is what's gone. To the extent that there are no available unappropriated revenues to meet such appropriation, the town council may authorize the issuance of emergency notes, which may be renewed from time to time, but the emergency notes and renewals of any fiscal year shall be repaid not later than the last day of the fiscal year next succeeding that in which the emergency appropriation was made. So it's saying they can make an IOU that you have to pay back by June 30th. But I think that's going further away from what you're trying to
Exactly.
So if you require, if I may, if
Yes.
you require a funding source and they're readily available, you got stabilization fund, I think you got free cash, you got the ability to juggle within budgets.
Sounds like
And you're forcing the council to make they're making a hard choice, and it takes some time to make a meeting, so you do have time to identify a source. It's not happening tonight. It's at least tomorrow that you're having your emergency meeting. And that you're making a hard choice about what's an emergency, and you're taking that one further step and tightening the whole thing up and making the also hard choice, because you shouldn't declare an emergency unless you have money to pay for it. Because it's, I'm not a lawyer,
I'm not saying.
we have a
what
town
you're doing is
budget,
bad.
you know well that
It's
you're not
just,
allowed to spend more than it. It's not like that.
I'm just giving you the,
And that's
what
why
happens now. This is what happens now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying what he's saying is wrong.
Right, right.
Right.
But as
Because
a matter of practical routine, you get the money all the time anyway. You never have, like when the floor at the fire department, they're all shipped out, you had money in the stabilization to fix it.
Right. So, John,
So-
did you have something to add?
I was just wondering what he was considering like an emergency.
Oh, right. Well, there's a whole list of what the
Because,
state
I mean,
considers an
right.
emergency and how you can treat.
I mean, I think an emergency is, let me give you a for instance. The building is burned. It's gonna collapse.
Right.
You know, you're
Oh,
on
yeah.
it. Do you leave the building up or do you call it an emergency?
Take it down.
And that gives you the emergency. We had an emergency meeting in the middle of the street on the church, down on Charles Street, Sacred Heart. All of a sudden, the tower just crumbled down. And they were lucky there was nobody underneath or on the lawn or anything when it got killed.
Right.
Immediately, we need emergency funds to at least fence off and protect the public. But if the tower comes down, it's gonna come in the street. We made the council vote a poll right in the street to what to do. And we took care of it. But the thing is that's like an emergency is something that you do.
Well, it's something that
every day.
needs to be done. It
And
could
then
be
you
at
worry
that
about
moment.
paying it back
Yeah.
by
Right.
30.
Right.
Yeah.
So adding it's not a bad thing, but then on the other hand,
Why?
Yeah, but why?
You
Is it really
missed-
necessary?
You missed it.
I mean,
Yeah, Councilor Shen.
emergencies.
Correct.
Yeah, you
That's
know-
why it's an
You
emergency.
added that
Yeah.
appropriate, that you need an appropriation, now you've tied the emergency to a
possible.
appropriation.
I wonder if it's harder to deal with an emergency. If we add this, if it makes it harder to fix an emergency because we added this. You know, not that I disagree with the thing. I'm
Right.
just wondering if it's going to, like you said,
what
tie your
you're
hands
doing
to
is
Council
putting it in
Shen.
the charter. What we do is, we automatically know where the money is, we have the funding source, we just direct the manager to do it immediately.
Right.
And what I'm intending to do is kick the discussion upstairs because I think it's worth having. But ultimately, it's gonna be decided by the town council anyway. So that's why I'm recommending we add it.
I wouldn't imagine.
I mean,
you
I
wanna
don't
send out
know
to the
whether it's
board,
right or wrong, I just think it makes sense. So I think we should put it forward for
The
discussion.
manager will weigh in, I mean,
Yeah,
maybe we can get a better process if there is one.
yeah, but we'll
I'm
start
never
it.
afraid to discuss this stuff. The more minds at the table, the better the decision.
So that's
Okay.
my
Well,
motion.
Is there any your motion and then the motion I think would at this point have to read a motion to
It's
have
all of
legal-
this, and then, but you add at the end, at the time of the vote, a funding source must be identified.
Okay, period. So at the time of the vote,
Yep.
a funding source must be stated.
That's all.
But then what if you don't have that much money in the
You're
funding source?
absolutely
Yeah, I mean, that's
Then
it.
you're
That's a
going,
good
so my
question.
thing is, if you don't have that money in the funding source, like Councilman said, you're gonna have to go to somewhere else anyways and take it from there and put it in this.
I hate to slow
But
down
the
the
manager-
process if it's
So
an
you're gonna-
emergency.
you could slow down the process.
I don't think I like it. I think it's redundant to add it, and it could potentially, it couldn't help, I don't
It could
think.
tie your hands up
I
at
think
that
it can
moment
only
for not
walk
having enough
backwards.
funds.
Every
Right.
time that we had it, the manager had the recommendation to the council on scene.
I liked it earlier,
And if
but
it's
now
not-
I think it's just, there's no benefit in.
And if it's an emergency, whether you have the funding or not, you
You gotta
have
do
to
it.
take care of it.
Right.
You have to take care of the
Right,
emergency.
and you'll deal
And
with
then
the
you
money
deal with
later.
it.
You have
You
to-
deal with
yeah,
it
you
later.
have to.
Like
Yeah.
if your roof leaks at your house, you're gonna get it fixed. And then you worry about it, after.
To
It's an
Max's
emergency.
point- To Max's point, the guy that I would actually like an opinion on is from the manager.
The manager, yeah.
I would like the manager to tell me, does this slow it down, speed it up, is it good, is it bad? It's not a bad thing to set things up.
Yeah.
Even if you disagree, send it out to the council with a dissenting vote, we still get to look at it. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Does anybody else have any
So I think
discussion?
the manager's gonna probably have an opinion, and I think that he's the guy that's gonna be the funding guy.
Okay. Well, if there's no further discussion, roll call, and we're up to Mr. Gullickson,
I say yes.
Mr. Matthew.
I'll say yes to bring it upstairs.
Okay. Ms. Sargi?
I'll say yes,
I know, I'll say yes to bring it up, but yeah,
but it seems redundant.
yeah.
That
I'm
was
just
yeah.
worried that it's gonna,
Yeah.
Slow something down.
right,
Yeah.
and it's an emergency.
Okay. I'll say yes, so it can go upstairs. I hope by the time it gets there, we find some clarity on can it slow us down? How can it
Right.
slow us down?
Exactly.
And can it be of any benefit in the situation?
Who knows,
Right.
right.
So.
We don't want it to be a hindrance, we
Yeah.
don't want extra.
Right, and the next regularly scheduled meeting for council is on March 30th anyway, so there's plenty of time to do that sort of research. Final agenda item. Agenda item 10, review, discuss Southbridge Home Rule Charter sections 10-12-1, entertain a motion recommending changes to town council for approval. This is one that no resident of Southbridge during this session of town council has asked me to put this on the agenda. This was asked to be put on the agenda by Peg Dean. And in the, effort of transparency here, I put it on, but it says, at any time during the fiscal year, the town council may, upon recommendation of the town manager, through the finance director, transfer part or all of any unencumbered appropriation balance among programs within a department, office, or agency, and may transfer part or all of any unencumbered appropriation balance from one department, office, or agency to another. I've heard councilors in the past say they support this. Nobody has brought this to my attention except Ms. Dean, and I vehemently do not support this. Do not support changing this, because what everybody wants to do is everybody wants to eliminate small transfers because they're tedious and people. I'm not going to claim if they're lazy or not, but I think the process that we have now, you as a department head ask the accountant to sign off on it. It goes upstairs to the manager signs off on it, then it goes to subcommittee, and then it goes to council. And in government, you need to do everything above the board, and the citizens need to see everything that you're doing, and it's their money that you're using. And they elect the town council to represent them to make sure that all the checks and balances of their money, not $10, transfer $10 100 times, 1,000 times, and now you can go buy a drone for the fire station, with nobody looking. I think it's a mess, and I think if you are too lazy to go to a town council meeting, then you should resign from town council right now. I swear to God, I've said that to any councilor's face. I have not had any citizen tell me that they want this changed. That's changing the form of government in this town. And that's my thought process on it. And I put it on there to be nice, but no resident has brought this to me this session of town council since July 1st. So, Councilor Shenyer.
I've had people tell me that they thought it was ridiculous that we're dealing with $10 transfers. I've had residents tell me that, and I come to 99% of the meetings, so to tell me to quit because I don't agree with it is wrong.
No, I say if
come
you're too lazy to
99%
do
of the
it.
meetings, and I don't support this the way it's written, because $10 transfer is crazy for us to get involved in. Dollar transfers, it's crazy. So if we had a dollar limit, that'd be one thing. I'm not saying give somebody $1,000, something
I hear you.
substantial $100, but for these $10 and $1.50 transfers and that kind of stuff, it's crazy that we spend hours sometimes discussing it. That's what my thing.
I appreciate that. Council Lazo.
I agree with Councilor Shinny's comments on your attack on my friend here.
You could just say I'm not lazy.
Anyway, you're right, but anyway, let me explain something that happens. Everybody brings up the $10 transfer. The department head
Right.
should deal with their budget where it doesn't happen that way. But even when it happens that way, it takes me, the chairman of the council, 30 seconds to run it across the floor, approve it, and move on. Even when they say there's a deadline for a grant and we don't have a meeting for 2 weeks. What we have for a council, when I call my council subcommittee chairman and I say, look, we're not taking this to council, what do you think?
The subcommittee.
We're gonna take it direct upstairs to get it done on Monday. I'll have a special council meeting on Monday or an off day to get those transfers done. This council and these subcommittees work together as far as, if we have the time, we'll take it to subcommittee, chew on it, knock it in, come up with the presentation, and confirm on the floor. But if we have a department head that has an emergency, this council does it immediately. There is no wait till the next meeting. So as far as I'm concerned, the transfer policy, I mean, they're trying to get a number, the department head, coming up saying, oh, give me $1,000 up to. You know something, if it wasn't for that drone and a couple other antics that were pulled by a department head, I probably would go with it. But you know the way I look at it is, I trust my council to do the right thing. They transfer the money, there's no holdups.
Right.
There are more holdups in the accountant's office than at council.
You know,
That's where we need to work at.
personalities and opinions aside, if you put a transfer policy in here, you are removing certain checks and balances from the people, and you are not being transparent enough with their finances. Period. I don't even think that's an opinion. It could be done, but I disagree with it. Who wants to go
It
first,
doesn't
Mr.
matter.
RG, Mr. Gullickson?
I just as an aside, when the school committee was intact, the business manager was a required attendant at every meeting. And every meeting, one of the agenda items was a review of all changes in the budget from the and boy, what transparency that was, right? They were made to be there. Ms. Keegan, remember her? And you all had the big review of all the changes. You didn't have these, I don't know, these convoluted $37 swings in your budget. It was just laid out for you. And I wondered why that the town council never adopted
The reason why it was like that is because we have a policy-making body, which is the school committee. And you have a representative body, the council. We are like the House of Representatives. We represent the people. The school committee does not represent the people. That's not the role of school committee member. School committee member puts the policies in place that drive that business manager, that drives everything that has to happen, that coincides with state and local
My
regulations.
question though is they had their finance director there with their feet at the fire. The town council never has their finance director there explaining any changes and answering questions. And that's it. I just didn't know why that was
No,
procedural,
you're right.
why that.
But that's the structure of both the boards.
I mean, it's changed now, obviously, but.
I mean, I would rather I don't wanna tell anybody how to do their job as far as, we hire a department head to be a fire chief, police chief, whatever. They come forward with their budget, and then we go at their budget line by line, because the subcommittee acts as the finance committee.
Yeah.
Then after it goes to the full council for confirmation. At that point there, they have a budget. Sometimes you're gonna have police and fire have vacant spots, which have excess money in their budget. During the year, when we say they need to replace Scott air packs that went in the capital account, we would automatically say, we did not fill that position. Jack would bring it to us, give you the funding source from the position that wasn't funded, and use it over here. So we're always moving the money.
Sure.
But sometimes, you know, they put a cushion in the budget, and it ends up being quite large, and then we transfer out. You'll always see me at the end of the year, transferring all the money out of these budgets into free cash. You know, because you can't leave them there, you have to expend before the end of the year, or it's gonna be a prior year bill, it's 2/3 a big mess.
So you think that keeping it the way it is the best safeguard?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, thinking about that, you're probably right, because I think of back in the day when I used to be on the fire department, and even still today, of purchases or accounts that weren't spent and were transferred later on. The drone, for instance. The drone was spent with, was bought with money that was transferred from a salary account or an equipment account or an et cetera.
Right, et cetera.
So had the deputy, if the chief had the ability to do that transfer without going to council, we would have never known that they spent the money before the transfer was done. Right.
I completely agree with you.
I don't
Can I
think
say
any
something?
recommendation has a
Someday?
chance
Yeah.
at council.
Please, Miss Dargy.
No, the only thing I want to say is that when it has to do with money, can you have too many checks and balances?
No.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if it's $10 or $1. Like, can you have too many in a system where everybody
Yeah, because
needs to be transparent?
you know, Miss Dargy, I quite frankly, I want to know why the hell one of my fire chief or my police chief or anybody
Screwed up the budget.
Why are you transferring $1?
Correct.
Like this kind of bothers
I
me
agree.
that you haven't been able to budget the dollar. You know, so I want to see those
Me
small
too.
transfers. It can reveal budget problems, and I'd say to department heads, budget better. You know,
Correct.
and I'd say to the town manager's office, require a better budget.
Correct.
And there are a couple unforeseen things in our budget. When the winter hits, we.
Sure.
No.
Of course.
Salt is
Salt,
one thing.
salt, no.
Yeah.
Salt, plowing, tip.
Sure.
I mean, the town's got this pretty well down pat.
Yeah, they do great. And since you've been in leadership, Mr. Chairman, there have been less transfers. And the whole reason this transfer policy even came up because the last chairman's meetings would last past 11 o'clock all the time, and we don't last past 9 now because we run subcommittee well and we run town council well. We have great 9 counselors that are best town council I've ever seen.
Fine, knock it off.
You know, it's just like I'll use the DPW for instance. They have a position that's funded, the second in charge, that's funded with money there that they didn't use all year long. And come April, you're gonna start seeing transfers coming, taken from the salary account. And if there was no transparency, we wouldn't know what was going on.
Right.
So I guess I can change my mind.
Okay. All right. Well, do you have to add?
Just
Yes.
one quick question, just no, one just statement.
Oh,
So in
sorry,
the-
your department head.
You just keep slamming me. Oh, I say to you, minding my own business, but no.
Okay.
So in the old charter,
Yes.
it was worded almost the same, except it took from town
Town
manager
manager.
to town council.
Correct. That's what the powers were reversed.
Correct.
Yeah, and I understand the times there. So, does anybody else have any other discussion?
So we're recommending
I
no
wanna bring
change.
up a subject that's not on the agenda.
What?
There's much discussion, as you know, we're speaking with this consulting group on the finance department and finance things.
Yes.
There's big discussion of an assistant town manager slash either finance or curriculum, and it's being worked on in the front office, or front office reorganization. I think that might have to come out later after we go forward with this.
Right.
But the charter changes are ongoing.
Right. We're not going to close this board
Right.
after this meeting.
And, you know, the thing is, I think, you know, if you're gonna make this upcoming election, do what you gotta do to get it done.
Yeah.
But we have other charter changes that we'd like to, I hope the group stays together.
The last charter committee spoke at great length for many months about this whole charter and formulated an official report at the end. Talk about streamlining. There's no way that we can't do it the way we just did. And if we have another charter change that we want to make in 2 months, we'll make it. And if there's another that comes from Councilor Kelly's bylaw changes, when we feel like we need to have a joint meeting and make a charter change, their recommendation, we can make as many recommendations as we want. We don't have to formulate a perfect.
Yeah, and you can constantly be a living and breathing board.
Yeah.
Say we go beyond the election and you say some other things are coming up.
Right.
We'd love to keep the board together and
Right.
say, send that to the
Yeah.
charter commission.
The past precedent is you kind of have a year, which is kind of why, and it's not another rule, but a year, and then Councilor Kelly has just stated that they're trying to tackle the 10 or 12 chapters once a month of the bylaws as much larger document than ours, and it's going to take him. He can't do it in 2 meetings. I have to commend this board for, you know, recognizing that the last charter review committee did a lot of work, and we were able to scour through what we did at the last meeting and bring changes forward and have great discussion, so we can talk about streamlining government. This is a very efficient, transparent, effective way to do business.
Are you gonna go to council, legal counsel? before
Legal counsel has to be, like, we can't vote upstairs on something that hasn't been approved
Right.
unless, again, upstairs, you can approve it and say you send it to legal counsel if they haven't got back to us. But I'm going to send this to Jack, and I would hope that Jack can get that turnaround in 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks
Well,
until the
yeah,
next
30th.
regularly scheduled meeting on the 30th. So yes, legal counsel will definitely be involved in this.
Are you gonna vote on agenda item number 10? Because you didn't.
Well, we didn't offer any changes.
So we didn't, that's what you did the other one too? 'Cause
No, I was gonna-
confused myself, I wasn't in the room, so I didn't know what you did.
Oh yes, that's what we did. We just skipped over it.
Okay, all right,
And
perfect.
for me, if nobody else has anything to say, I'm waiting to say motion to adjourn agenda item number 11.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye. There we go.
Thank you.
And it's 6 p.m. on the dot.